But I don't think it's a surprise to anyone this season that if there is a VAR intervention or if there's something that you could look at, or could be left, could be right, that then that decision goes against us. That has been the whole season, every single time the same.
Okay. That's Arne Slot, Liverpool manager, moaning about their season with VAR. Whenever there's been a VAR decision to be made, it's gone against us the whole season. Those are the words of the Liverpool manager. Really? Let's break this down, shall we? And let's actually look at what Arne Slot said there and whether or not it's true. Whether or not Arne Slot has got a point here for Liverpool. Moaning because his team got battered by Manchester United yesterday. Moaning because the only chances that they really created were ones that Manchester United gifted them. That's it. Trying to cover up their deficiencies and the lack of leadership that he has given this Liverpool side this season by using VAR. Right, so let's look at this and let's make a decision whether we think that Arne Slot is actually right in this. He goes on to say that their entire season this has been the case for Liverpool. Whenever there's a decision for VAR, it always goes against us. Point number one that I want to make on this, and let's go back to that Fulham game at Craven Cottage, shall we? When this mysterious 5 centimetre ruling came in for the offside goal for Florian Wirtz. The cameras clearly showed that the lines were Wirtz offside and the goal was given for Liverpool. That saved Liverpool a point. Fulham should have won that game. By the way, that would have put Fulham into or just on the cusp of European places right now. So the implications of VAR are for everybody, are not just Liverpool. Oh my God. Okay, the next bit, which Arne Slot talks about there, and the fact that I see a penalty not being given for Liverpool in the Champions League.
Well, if I remember Paris Saint-Germain at home getting a penalty for a soft touch on McAllister. But of course the VAR interferes and says, no, this is not a penalty. Where 1 week later when I see Paris Saint-Germain playing against Bayern Munich, that same soft touch, the penalty stays.
A minor touch, then that same tiny little touch is given for a game between PSG and Bayern Munich, the semi-final that's just happened. Okay, fair enough. Let's go back to the San Siro, shall we? And Florian Wirtz going to the floor like an absolute pansy and a penalty being given, not overturned, winning Liverpool the game. A massive game, which probably kept Arne Slot in a job at the time. So again, short memory when it comes to the European side of things as well, Arne, there, isn't it? Because that wasn't a penalty. Even Andy Robertson came out after the game and said, you was a little bit lucky with that one, mate, wasn't you? Wow, honestly, again, for him to come out with the statement, and this is going to be the case for every single part of this video in terms of what Arne Slot is saying, for him to come out and say that that's been the entire season is an absolute disgrace. For a Premier League manager to come out and use that as the excuse as to why he has maybe lost 18 games this season. Come on, mate. You've lost 11 games in the league and 7 in cup competitions. Stop using excuses. Let's move that forward. He remembers Manchester United running down the pitch at Anfield while a player was on the floor getting stitches with a head injury.
When we played United in the first game of the season, I had one of my players with 5 stitches on the floor and the referee didn't stop the game and we conceded. I saw last week my goalkeeper on the floor with an injury and the referee doesn't stop the game. I see a player of United off the pitch today and the referee stops the game when we try to play on. That has been our whole season.
I think it was calculated the moment that the player went down for Liverpool in that Anfield game between United and Liverpool. The moment he went down to Mbeumo scoring that goal, which he's moaning about, was, I think it was around about 4 seconds. And again, the referee made the right call. The player went out. A few seconds later, he realised the player was down and injured and then called it back, but United already scored. It's just potluck. Deal with it. Deal with it, Arne, because that's what you have to look at. He does go on at the end of this interview to say that it's their team's fault that we're making these mistakes. But for him to then come out and say there was a Manchester United player off the pitch injured today and the play stopped, did you for one moment remember why that Manchester United player, Benjamin Sesko, was off the pitch injured? Do you not want to actually look back and understand why the referee went over to Benjamin Sesko? maybe we should look at the fact that Konate clearly pushes Benjamin Sesko off the pitch into the hoardings, clatters into the hoardings, and maybe that was a little unfair. How Konate did not get a card for that incident alone is what should be being discussed. Not that a player is off the pitch and the game is stopped. He has clattered into the hoardings because there was a professional foul. He's pushed him off the ball. He had no intention of playing the ball. He's lucky to be on the pitch. So when you go back to that moment and you look at what Konate did, there has to be something brought back. There has to be action on Konate as well as this. He needs to be careful in what he's saying here, Arne Slot. He's getting embarrassing now. It really is. Because it was his player's fault that Sesko was off the pitch. It was a clear foul. So he's lucky. And when you talk about the handball, let's just talk about it. He talks about the ball and the rotation of the ball changing. It clearly shows.
If a ball has a certain curve and the curve changes, there must have been a contact. But it's always light. Yeah, then we should have a debate in football. Is that then enough to disallow a goal? But I think the rule is if there was a touch, it should have been disallowed.
And he said we should have a debate whether this should be a reason for disallowing a goal. He's trying to cover himself there and obviously make it open, because I'm pretty certain there have been plenty of handball incidents for Liverpool this season. I remember one, I think, against Wolves with Van Dijk as well. Look, there's plenty that you can go into and pull Liverpool on that side of it on handball. But again, he seems to be very short-sighted in the fact that if that is brought back and disallowed, what about the incident before where Curtis Jones actually tries to pull Benjamin Sesko down from behind because Sesko's ahead of him? How that's not even looked at is beyond me. Be very, very, very careful with what you are saying, Arne Slot, because this is a clear issue for everybody in the Premier League. For him to come out and say that it is Liverpool's season, it's always gone against him. Off the top of my head, I've just remembered 2 incidents there that have basically kept him in the job, that have put other clubs at a disadvantage. Fulham should be 2 points better off now, and in the fight for Champions League football, because 6th place could actually be Champions League football this season. For Arne Slot to come out and moan about their entire season going against them with VAR, it's ironic. It really, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. If I'm a Liverpool fan listening to my manager right now talk this way, I'm thinking, get out of my club. Get out of my club right now. You are an embarrassment to this football club. Talking like that. And for him to come out and say later on, even after the VAR controversies that he is talking about here and how it's affected their season, for him to come out and say, we are giving goals away when we are dominating the game, when we are the better team in the game, that's delusional. That's completely delusional. 50% of Liverpool's attempts on target yesterday came from clear and obvious errors from Manchester United, leading to goals. The clear-cut chances they created yesterday were created by Manchester United. There was zero control in that game for Liverpool. They were blown away. And the only reason that scoreline was as close is because Manchester United gifted them an avenue back into the game. It flattered Liverpool, that scoreline yesterday. And just any Liverpool fan out there that wants to even come on and challenge this, get into the comments below. I think you really do need to be looking at your manager and the embarrassment that he is bringing upon Liverpool right now, because he is talking absolute garbage. And he has got probably one of the shortest memories in football. I cannot believe he said these words. He's an embarrassment to Liverpool Football Club. Get into the comments, let me know what you think, everybody. When Liverpool lose to Manchester United, there's always something that's happened that's determined that. It's never Man United with a better side, was it? There's always an excuse. Yeah, 18 defeats this season, Arne. That's what you need to be looking at. And probably one of the worst title defences in Premier League history, having spent £500 million. That's what you need to be looking at and complaining about, mate. Not VAR ruining your season, because it clearly hasn't, has it?